Hello, welcome to this update for the U.S. and Canada. So let's see what's happening, the weather now, and some stuff in the future. So today's February 3rd, we do have a bunch of winter storm warnings throughout Montana and Idaho, Wyoming, still some in Oregon, California, and some winter weather advisories in Washington, and also some parts of the Great Lakes and some New York and Vermont, and also some wind warnings and advisories in the west there, and even some flood watches California because the heavy rain, and some wind warning western Alaska, and some high surf advisories in Hawaii. But this is now like right now this always changes. So here shows the red, the heavy rain there in California, some freezing rain possible in some spots of the northeast today, even some snow in northern New York and into Canada, some freezing rain, and the spots of heavy snow California and Oregon, into Idaho and Montana, Wyoming, and just the general snow there in the white. So let's see, there's day 2 that shows small potential for freezing rain, Kansas and Missouri, through Illinois, and some ranges south of it. Still some flash flooding, some heavy rain possible in California, and some heavier snow in the mountains. So be careful. And still more snow throughout much of the northwest. There's day 3, which is showing now a very crazy thing, a very big area of freezing rain possible throughout the Midwest into the Mid-Atlantic, maybe Northeast. So we will check the models about this, but just stay tuned to the forecasts in your area. So shows like some heavy snow still possible, some spots of Oregon to California, especially Sierra Nevada. Those high mountains can accumulate snow very quickly, so be careful. In Idaho too, and some snow generally in the north. So the slight risk, excessive rainfall in California and the margin around it, so be aware there. And some landslides and flash flooding, they choose still a slide there, so be careful. And a marginal shows the marginal all the way down to Los Angeles, and the slide mainly in some areas central Northern California and San Francisco. So be careful. Day 3, a marginal Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana to Pennsylvania. Day 4, another margin on the west coast, and day 5, nothing still. So be aware in those areas. There's the snowfall probabilities very high in the west there, in Oregon, California, Idaho, the mountains, Montana, Wyoming. So be aware in those areas. Careful with avalanche danger, snow squalls, especially like accumulating snow. They choose still very high the Sierra Nevada, especially central Idaho, Montana, and Oregon, especially Northern California. So be careful. Day 3 shows a general snow probability throughout Minnesota, North Dakota, very little, but it is something. So shows like in Montana, these are just probabilities, no accumulations. It shows more like in Wyoming, California, and Oregon. Be aware, day 4 still some in the west and northeast. Day 5 some across the Rockies. Day 6 we'll be watching the northeast again because many models are picking up some weird winter storms. And day 7 snowflake or 2 on the west and some on still the northeast. So let's see what the winter storm severity index has right now. So many spots in the Sierra Nevada in California are extreme. Alright, these are mainly in high elevations, but if you are in those areas, be careful driving, especially the snowy and icy roads. Shows more like northern California, some other spots of extreme and major. So please be careful. Some extreme southern Oregon, even northwestern Oregon, Washington, and central Idaho, more major and extreme. So be careful in those areas. Some minor Montana and some moderate, even a few spots of major. So be careful, and some minor to moderate Maryland and Pennsylvania next 3 days. So be careful. There's in terms of severe weather, nothing crazy. Just like a storm or two into Tuesday, a small storm or two in the west, and day 3 still thunderstorm or two in those areas of the east and midwest, but nothing crazy. The fires elevated in central western Nevada today, some higher winds and everything, so be aware. A longer range in the severe weather, nothing crazy expected for now. Just for day 3, that shows you the general risk of storms in those areas. The Colorado State University does have like 15% chance of some low end severe weather possible, and even day 4 like 5% is very little, but we'll keep watching this. This will likely be some thunderstorms, nothing crazy, but we'll keep watching. But a longer range on week 2, there's the CFS already showing the accumulated supercell composite for the south. Some busy weather again in Louisiana and Texas for week 3 especially. So like mid-February on week 3. So we'll keep watching this after February 17th, and but nothing crazy as of now. So now be aware there, and right now there's a GFS that shows some snow in Canada and through eastern Canada, and a strip of it into northern Michigan and Wisconsin, some spots there, and the atmosphere river on the west is the heavier snow in California, Oregon, and Idaho. So be careful that snow in those areas, especially the high terrain California. And later on the 6th shows the freezing rain there, into Pennsylvania, northern Virginia, and northern Ohio too. Some spots southern Ontario, more to Maryland. So these goals show some in southern, like central New York too, not on the sea, but more central or western New York, and snow ahead of it on the northeast. So this goes, and once again the GFS on the 9th has another episode of freezing rain and snow in those areas, especially snow in the northeast. And after that, it still has some systems crisscrossing more ice and snow. Another one after that, but that's too far. Let's not go that far out. So just be careful the snow for now, and keep watching this system on Thursday the 6th. As today's Monday, this will happen already on Thursday. So keep watching this. There's the European model, shows like snow on the west there. Be careful in California, Oregon, Idaho, and into Montana. Even Washington, but not as heavy in Washington. And shows like into Canada as well, in Alberta, southern Saskatchewan, Manitoba, some snow there. And the does get some freezing rain start in northern Missouri on the 5th, and some in Iowa too. Then this goes, the European, the 6th, has like even some heavier spots of ice there in Pennsylvania. So more ice. This is later on the 6th, showing a big patch of ice into central Pennsylvania, western New York. So we really have to watch this, because the European model show like that's a lot, not a lot, but it's a considerable amount. And some sleet and some snow. This goes and shows this snow for most of the northeast and New England, still on the 6th and the 7th. So this goes, and later after that, it's just like the GFS, some more freezing rain on the 8th, the Midwest, and starting to get close to the northeast, and it has even some ice and snow on the 9th in the northeast. And after that, another snow system further south on the 12th, and some weird stuff to watch later. So be aware, keep watching this. There's the Canadian model. the snow now there on the west, and then does get a little bit of freeze rain in Iowa, Missouri on the 5th, and even northern Virginia, and does get this big area of ice and sleet in Pennsylvania, New York, into southern Michigan as well, like spots on northern Ohio, into southern Ontario, and more into northern Virginia and Maryland. So this goes there. So still some later on the 6th, that snow, the snow too, and it goes into Canada. So be aware. And later on the 9th is also showing another event of some sleet and some snow to watch, especially the snow in the northeast. So we'll be watching this. It has another system on the 11th, again further south. So these models are in fair agreement here, but they always change, so keep that in mind. But we'll keep watching. There's the icon, the snow on the west there, and also for the 5th, the 6th to central Canada into Ontario and Quebec, shows that snow there. And then this goes, the icon doesn't have the ice feature, I think. It just shows rain and snow, but it also shows the other system on the 9th there, and some more stuff later. So be aware, those areas, keep watching. So here, like, there's wait, let's see some close range snow first. So there's this weird heat wave in February that we'll talk about as well. But now let's see some 48-hour snowfall, the National Weather Service. So they do have more snow throughout Idaho, Montana, spots of Wyoming and Oregon, some like in Washington, but the heaviest central Idaho and the Sierra Nevada. Some spots, the Sierra Nevada could be close to 4, even 50 inches of snow. Those very, very high spots, there are some specific peaks. So please be careful, especially in those areas with heavy snows, the accumulations, some avalanche danger. So please stay safe. Show some a little bit on the northeast or northern Michigan, some 6 inches, 4 inches, a little bit more central northern New Hampshire, and some northern Maine. So be careful this snow. There's the just the rainfall here, shows some heavier to spots of California next 48 hours, close to 3.5 in some spots, even some 4 inches. This brown here is mixed with snow too, because those are many mountains, but shows close to 4 inches spots on the coast. So be careful. There's the ice, I don't think there's any yet, but this shows a little bit of ice in New Hampshire to Maine in the next 24 hours, so be aware there. And maybe a tiny thing or two into Michigan or Minnesota, Wisconsin, but like that's almost nothing. So yeah, be aware. So now these temperatures, so there's some cold in the north, still some -3, some -4 even during the day. But in the south, like some 87 degrees in Texas, some 82, some 81 in Florida. So this is a very weird heat wave for this time of year. Definitely very above average. Some 70s in the south, some 80s in Arizona, southernmost California. So be aware in those areas. And tonight into tomorrow, still some 60s in Florida and Texas, but show like some -11, some -12 in the north, and colder in the highest peaks. So beware, some 20s, teens in the northeast, and 30s, and some teens all the way down to Kansas. So beware, not as cold in the Rockies, but still in the high elevations colder, and the northwest there. So be aware. Tomorrow still shows some 80s much of Texas and some 70s in the south, some 80s in Florida too, so be aware. Some 80s in Arizona, and still some -5 in Montana, some 30s in the northwest, some 20s and 30s the northeast. So still be aware, and show like those areas. Some 4 is between the Midwest, and some 20s in northern Illinois, in those areas. So day 2 does show like minimum, still some -12 in Montana, some -2, some -3, some 60s in Texas and Florida, Louisiana, even Mississippi still. And getting cold in the northeast, like -3 to -5 Fahrenheit, northern Maine. The wind chills lower, some 20s in the northern plains, central northern plains, because northern like -2, and colder Washington, Oregon, especially in northern Washington, those areas. And now for Montana again, shows all the way to -21 Fahrenheit in a spot of northern Montana. So please be careful there, especially the wind chills might be close to -30. So be careful. Still for Wednesday afternoon, show like some 83 degrees in Florida, some 8 is in Texas still, and 70s in the south, some 4 is 30 is in the north, some 20s teens the northeast, and like some -1 to even colder in Montana still, some 30s 20s in the high elevations. So be careful. Now still shows some -18 to -21 in Montana, some -14, some 20, 17, some teens the northern Midwest, the northern plains, still some 60s in the south, but shows still some like some negative temperatures northern Maine, like negative in the sense of negative Fahrenheit, because 32 is 0 Celsius, so some negative Fahrenheit in northern Maine, still like, but very cold in Montana. Be careful Montana, especially the wind chills. Later show like day 4 for Thursday, still some 6, 9, 5, 10 Fahrenheit in the north, some 30s, 20s the mountains, and some 30s the northeast, but shows some 8s in Florida, still some 70s, some 8s in Texas again. So be aware in those areas. Let's just check Texas a little bit better. So shows close to 90 in southern Texas Thursday. So be aware those areas. For the minimum temperatures Friday morning, still some 20s in the northeast, the plains, some -12, some -6 in the north, still some 16, 29, some 20s teens, the mountains, the west, some 30s all the way down to New Mexico. So be aware in those areas. And day 5 still shows hot in southern Texas, so be aware there, with some 70s and 80s in Florida and the south, and some 20s and things in the north, so like some 12, 13 Fahrenheit, and cold in the mountains still. Day 5 still shows some -4, some -2 in the north, some 20s in the plains, 60s in the south. This is for Saturday morning, the 8th. Still some close to -1 northern Maine, colder in the Sierra Nevada to like some low teens, and more into like Oregon, some single digits. These that like might be like 5, 3 Fahrenheit in the Sierra Nevada. So BR day 6 during the day show like some 80s in Florida, still some 70s, 60s the southeast, and Texas very wild. The north some 14, 19, still some teens, especially the mountains, Wyoming some 20s, more 20s and 30s in the mountains. And now closer look at Texas here, shows 92 degrees Fahrenheit in February. On the 8th on Saturday, some 89 central Texas, so 91. So be aware in those areas. Some is in Louisiana too. So yeah, be careful. 70 southern Arizona. And now for day 6 Sunday morning, still some -6 there, some -3, some -7, northern Montana, the mountains Wyoming close to -8, once again, some 5, 10, 16, those are like those spots central Idaho, those dark purples close to white are like -10 Fahrenheit, so be careful. Some single digits into the Sierra Nevada or even colder from Nevada, Western Oregon, and the Northeast, some teens and single digits and some 20s. So be careful in those areas. Just close look. Wyoming here shows some -10, some mountains there, some -7, some -8, -7. So be aware those areas there. Now for day 7 shows during the day on Sunday, still more concentrated in southern Texas, the heat, because there might be a cold front or something. Show like some 70 still southern Arizona, some 83, some 82, even some 84 central southern Florida. So be aware those areas. And now let's just see something here for the HERS. So today's Monday, those temperatures shows some A is there. So let's just see if the HERS shows anything different for this afternoon. But yeah, shows closer to other showings, some 86, some 85 in Texas, even southern Oklahoma, some 87, southern Texas. So yeah, be aware in those areas. And now here, let's see what the GFS has for some freezing rain and stuff. This system on the 6th. So here, like, I'll show you the snow in a second, and especially the European and everything. So it does have like this system there. So this is until the 7th, shows more there, especially southern Pennsylvania, a good portion of Virginia, some in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. Could be close or even more to a quarter of an inch into Pennsylvania, spots of Virginia. So be careful in those areas. And now, where the European, the snow shows some insane amounts in the high elevations there until the 7th. The snow in Canada, especially in Quebec, central Canada, more spots, central Idaho, that crazy snow. So be aware. Some more specific graphics here shows like until Saturday the 8th, better in inches here. So like some spots in California 57 inches, some 59, 54. The mountains 31 inches, 21, 26. So be careful. Utah as well, next 5 days, central Utah, some northern Utah to 8 inches, spots to 11 inches, 8 inches, possibly, because this always changes. Central Colorado, some 2, to western Wyoming, some 14 inches, 8 inches, some more central Wyoming, central Idaho to 25 inches or even more, next 5 days. Southern Oregon to 35 inches as well, some 10 inches, 22 inches, Montana as well. So be aware. And shows also 5 days in central Minnesota, some 8 inches, North Dakota, Wisconsin, some in Pennsylvania, and like snow northern Pennsylvania, because further south many ice, and show like some 8 inches New York, Vermont, New Hampshire 6, 4 inches, Maine, Connecticut 3 inches, even northern New Jersey, New York City close to 2 inches. So be careful this snow. So let's see if the HER works here, because it's acting strange, but the closer range. So it show like, because this the high resolution model already shows the next one day and 19 hours 66 inches, some spots in Northern California, already in the mountains some 31 inches, some 34 inches. So be careful, more spots in Northern California, even 2 inches in Eureka, some more spots 14 inches, Oregon, Central Idaho shows all the way to 40 inches next day or so. Some more Montana too. So stay safe to northern Michigan, northern New York, or it shows some. So be aware there. Now, just for curiosity, some longer range until the 15th shows this snow all the way to North Carolina, and some more on the west as well. Even shows some in Oklahoma next 11 days. But this is a lot. Let's not look that far. But the GFS is some interesting stuff. This next 12 days shows more New York, some Maine, some more spots of the Northeast, and some all the down to northern North Carolina. But we'll keep watching this and be aware in those areas. There's the NAM2 until Wednesday shows those spots in California 47 inches, spots to like 73 inches. So be aware there in Idaho, Montana, spots of the Northeast to Canada. So be careful. The snow, those areas. Now for Canada, 5 days show like southern Saskatchewan, Alberta, some 13 centimeters, 11 centimeters, because of this system from Montana that will bring the snow there. All the southern Manitoba, some 9 centimeters, in Ontario shows like spots of southern Quebec, some 19 centimeters, 21 spots of southern Ontario too, especially in Atlantic Canada, Newfoundland, some 39 centimeters, some 37, 29, some 18, 25 centimeters, Nova Scotia, some as well. So be aware those areas. The West is quieter now. The main actions on the U.S., but there shows some there into central, northeast, northwestern British Columbia, and some lingering layers northern British Columbia. Some more there into like northern Nunavut, 25 centimeters, 33 northern northwestern territories, some general lingering snow there. So be aware the Arctic as well, and yeah. There's the GFS, 5 days shows this snow central southern Canada, especially eastern Quebec, Newfoundland, some areas there. So be aware, there's snow and everything. Now, just to see some systems in closer look for Canada. So the snow is in Quebec and Ontario now. This goes shows more snow Tuesday, tomorrow, Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, even some Pierre Miquelon. Then this goes there. Still some lingering snow later, March central northern Quebec. Thursday shows more snow Thursday in Ontario and Quebec. Friday, this goes into Labrador, Newfoundland, possibly more into Atlantic Canada on the 10th. And even later if this pattern continues. So be aware Tuesday spots of northern Canada and Nunavut, so be aware in those areas. Wednesday, yeah, so be careful, that snow and everything. And now for some wingas, the US, so there's the European shows already today introduced in California, some Hargas in the mountains, into Nevada too, so be aware in Utah, spots 246 mile per Gus in Colorado, some spots in Wyoming, especially central to northwestern Wyoming, so be aware this goes there. Still strong on Wednesday, shows in Utah, South and Western Utah, so close to 48, 50 mile per gust in Arizona, spots in Nevada too, especially like just south of San Francisco, close to 57 mile per gust. Beware in San Francisco too, San Jose, some other spots to 55, 52 mile per gust. Wednesday still like the Sierra Nevada, some higher there, and north, not north, but Eastern California. So what happened here? This goes, and so I showed you Tuesday there. So this is actually Tuesday. So sorry if I said Wednesday. So Tuesday into Wednesday shows spots of the mountains, even 63 mile per gust, 64. So please be careful in those areas. A little bit breezier, uh, just north of Santa Barbara later on the 5th, but nothing that crazy. And Nevada, some isolated spots in the mountains. So Wednesday, and it's showing those higher gusts in Wyoming possible. Wednesday into Thursday, Colorado, much of Colorado, and New Mexico, Oklahoma, Central Oklahoma, like northern New Mexico, spotted too in Arizona, breezier, but the main focus will be Colorado, Wyoming, and Idaho. So this goes spots there, southernmost Montana. So be careful these gusts Thursday, and breezier in the plains there. Still some in the Rockies, but mainly in the plains, and this wind starts building up the northeast, midwest. So 44 mile per gust spots. Pennsylvania to New York, some 51, 47 mile per gust because of the system there. So this goes Thursday, shows another atmosphere river on the 7th, possibly some high gust the coast to California and Eastern California again, and the Rockies. By that time on Friday, northern New York, some 53 mile per gust, some 54. So be aware Friday. This goes so later Friday night, still shows in Maine, some high gusts, Massachusetts, it's New York there, especially like this strip of wind in Pennsylvania. So Friday, this goes towards the Rockies again. In Utah, central Utah, northern Utah, shows some spots of Colorado, some higher gusts. Even to Arizona, just north of Flagstaff, shows higher spots of Nevada. Not exactly in Las Vegas, but just west of Las Vegas, the worst. So be aware, spots California too, but especially be aware throughout Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and Nevada, spots of southern Idaho. So yeah, be aware. This goes into Saturday, clears up in the northeast, but yet again on the 8th shows this new system forming Sahargas and possibly to the northeast again. So be aware Sunday this goes, and the rest is too far later. So be aware those areas. There's the HER, which might have some more precise data on those gusts. So show like, so now Monday to Tuesday, spots in Northern California to 71 mile per gust. Very windy for Utah there. Not Utah, Nevada, especially western Nevada, close to California, central Nevada, southern Oregon. So be aware in Nevada and California, especially to western Nevada, some mountains in Utah too, some spots in the mountains there, central Colorado, southern Wyoming, and spots to Montana, northwestern Wyoming. This goes shows slightly high on the coast near San Francisco, close 48 to 50 mile per gust. And this goes very windy, many spots of the Rockies, the Sierra Nevada, So Tuesday, this goes there and shows crazier in California Tuesday night into Wednesday, 64 mile per gust, 66 spots in Sacramento, 49 spots like San Jose, near San Francisco, some 54 mile per gust just south, some 40 in San Francisco, some other spots there. So be aware. Also Central Utah, some 49, 48 mile per gust in Arizona, Wyoming, and more spots there. So Tuesday there into Wednesday. So be aware. Southern Idaho, some more mountain spots of Idaho, Montana. So stay safe in those areas. And now here in Canada, shows like for the European, shows now some wind in the Arctic there, but branching into northern northwestern territories, and this goes like right now tonight to British Columbia, some more wind. So Tuesday, this goes there, show like this strip of breezier conditions for northern Nunavut, northwestern territories, slightly higher gusts, not down to Manitoba. This goes Wednesday there, and southern Manitoba, Saskatchewan, especially Ontario near the Great Lakes, slightly higher gusts. Shows Nova Scotia because this system especially. So starting Friday, shows some higher gusts Thursday night into Friday. Shows like this goes like northern Nova Scotia close to 92 km per gust, and spots there to like 101. So stay safe. Still southern Quebec and some spots there higher. So Friday this goes, showing some bigger gusts in the rest of Newfoundland and St. Pierre. So this goes there, and this goes away, and shows like spots of southern Ontario on the 9th again. This goes the Great Lakes specials spots southern Quebec. So Sunday this goes there, and we also affect probably Nova Scotia on Sunday the 9th, and this goes like later into some other spots of Newfoundland on Monday the 10th, and it goes there, and probably maybe still some Hargus, the coastal Labrador on the 12th. Some weird stuff on the southeast and later the show before, and so continuing here Thursday the 13th, some stuff in Nunavut, and especially more on the Atlantic. So shows another system the 13th, Nova Scotia. Thursday this goes to Newfoundland, some higher gusts and goes, but that's like very far out. So be aware in those areas. This is just one model. The GFS probably has a little bit different. Like you know that corridor of wind that I showed you, the European, this strip of wind here shows Sahara gusts in Nunavut in some spots. So the GFS usually has less, but this time it has more. So it shows like Manitoba, Sahara gusts, Saskatchewan, northern northwestern territories, and Nunavut. This goes and like, and also the GFS is more Newfoundland Friday, so it goes all the way to 112 in St. John's. So there's also a possibility. So keep watching that and be aware that there's no. I hope I showed you most of all of Canada before, and might be a good idea to show some rain too. So it's mainly snow this time of year, but I'll show some more rain in Newfoundland, Nova Scotia. Most of this just snow, and yeah, be aware those areas. Now like in inches again in Canada, not Canada, Alaska shows Saharas now to northern Alaska, so be aware this goes into Canada there, And that shows some more the Aleutian Islands on the 7th and the 8th, so be aware. And maybe some more stuff in southeastern Canada later. The European has some more there as well. So the 11th, still the peninsula, the Aleutian Islands, and yeah. So stay safe in those areas. Now, very quick here in Fahrenheit, so I don't forget Alaska. Also shows still some -3, 0 Fahrenheit, 12. So still very cold. So 19 Anchorage, not theirs, but it's like tonight. As I move this along, shows some spots colder to -9, some -5. This goes. Wednesday shows some more Arctic air to northwestern Alaska, some -29. On Friday the 7th, some -15. So this goes there, shows most of central northern Alaska very cold on the 8th. So knowledge to -33. So be careful the wind chills with that might goes to -40 depending on the conditions. -31 not other spots. Anchorage some 12. So be careful on the 8th. Still shows cold later, some -21 to -35 at night. So yeah, be aware in Alaska. So now in Canada shows very cold still. There's still this cold temperatures in the west, like in Alberta, to British Columbia, so -26 to -28 degrees Celsius. In other spots, -27. Some active temperatures in Vancouver, so -3 and it shows in Saskatchewan, -25, Manitoba, those areas. So stay safe, especially the wind chills. And the feels like temperatures -30 in some spots, even to northern Quebec and Labrador. So be aware, spots of southern Ontario a little bit better, but still some like 0 degrees. This is during the day now, so it's a little bit better than at night, but the show cold still, especially like temperatures Newfoundland and Labrador, northern Nova Scotia. So this goes tonight, especially Tuesday morning, shows some -36 in Alberta, some -37, some -35, and like very cold for this whole area, some -29, some -27, some -34. So please stay safe from the cold, like to southern northwestern territories, -30. Yukon, the north is actually better than the south in this case, and shows like spots in Toronto, Ottawa, -7, -9, -3. So this goes -30s. So this is Tuesday. This goes up a little bit during the day, but not that much. But still shows all the way to -35, -37, Western Alberta to British Columbia. On Wednesday, very cold in Quebec and Labrador too. Like all the way to -20, -23, -11, and shows southwestern Ontario too, spots of Saskatchewan. So be careful there. Yukon still like northwestern territories. So Wednesday, this goes some Arctic air Nunavut, but better in the south, but still most negative temperatures, and northern Quebec very cold. Then this Arctic air starts going into Yukon from Canada, from Alaska, and shows some -27, some -32, still very cold in Nunavut, and some -18, some -21, the south, some -12. So in all these areas, please be careful. The wind chills. So Friday, show like Friday morning, some -35 in Nunavut. In other spots, to -5, some -30. So some -34, some -36. So be careful. Those areas, some minus 27, better in Alberta, British Columbia, but still cold. Show like on Sunday the 9th, minus 36, Yukon, Northwestern Territories, Northern Quebec, minus 36 still, minus 20s, Manitoba, even southern Manitoba, Ontario, some other spots there, and the Arctic is minus 37, minus 32. So yeah, be careful. Sunday, since Sunday to Monday, the temps still shows much of Central Canada under the minus 30s, minus 20s, especially like some minus 27, some minus 25, 26. So stay safe in those areas. Still Northwestern Territories and Yukon. So Monday this goes there. Shows still some minus 29, some minus 34 in Quebec, some minus 23. So be careful. Northern Quebec to minus 39. So stay safe. Still like on the 11th, minus 27 the south, so minus 30, Yukon still, so stay safe. This goes and potentially more cold air to watch later, so stay safe in those areas. Be aware of the warnings here too in Alberta, extreme cold, British Columbia, Arctic outflow. So just click here, a very strong outflow winds, really cold wind chills are expected, so be careful. Let's just see if they give any values here. And yeah, because they say wind chill values of minus 20 or more, but in some spots I showed you it's minus 30, so be aware. If it's minus 30, the wind chills might be close to minus 40, so please be careful. Minus 40, minus 35 or something. More extreme cold Saskatchewan, Quebec, Ontario, so please check this link in the description and find your location. So now some long range for the temperatures. This is still an uncertain forecast, but we are watching out for it. So some models are showing potential to mid-February, split the polar vortex. They might disrupt more the cold air in the northern hemisphere, especially like into Asia, North America, maybe Europe too. So we are watching this mainly because of a sudden stratospheric warming event, as you can see here. So shows a part of Siberia and other spots like the stratosphere warmed a lot, and very cold in other parts of the stratosphere. So this can disrupt the polar vortex and can cause those things. So here there's this other model I found today. So you can see this around February 18th or something. Shows like two separate low pressure areas, like a split polar vortex. So this is a possibility. Many people are talking about it, but this might bring more cold waves there to North America potentially. But we are still watching this, and nothing that crazy as of now. But let's just see here this model for North America for the temperatures, the average temperatures. So it shows the European, the cold wave in Western Canada now, and in the northern US. So those very cold temperatures I showed you, some below average temperatures in Eastern Canada too. This goes shows later the cold air into Alaska there, and you might combine some below average temperatures still in Canada to create a colder scenario into like much of southern Canada, northern US on the 11th. This might get a little bit stronger on the 14th there, and it goes and like still shows on the 18th, very cold into Canada and the north there. So the GFS shows the same thing, the cold wave there, very large temperatures in eastern Canada, central Canada, and especially like this the 13th, the GFS English shows much of the U.S. until Texas below average, and it shows like this goes and to the northeast and eastern Canada, and still shows on the 19th some cold western Canada and the east, but kind of a different scenario than the European. So we'll keep watching this and be aware those areas, but focus on the short range now, the snow and everything, the ice and etc. So stay safe and be careful with fog too in the mornings always.